Established in 2020, the Author's Porch is a space for authors to share their literary works of art. Founded by CJ Ives Lopez, the Author's Porch puts authors first and becomes a premier destination for all at every level in their careers. When you join the Author's Porch, we want you to think of us as a beacon of light, bringing you home to a porch where your family is waiting to usher you into your greatness. From live cast to podcast, blog posts, and most recently, the magazine, the Author's Porch brings promotional services and advice to authors to get their writing published. Whatever the issue, the Author's Porch connects writers with a service desired to create their dreams into reality. Hey everybody, welcome to the Author's Porch, where every great conversation happens, and it happens because we trusted Brendan and Vamsi at Master Talk to show us the power of effective communication. We also make sure we have a great cup of coffee from Third Day Coffee Seguin, a Christ-centered, veteran-owned coffee company. Today on the show, we have Aurea. Did I say it correct?
Yes, perfect.
Okay, Aurea Franklin. How are you doing, Aurea?
I am just doing fine. Thanks, CJ. This is really great.
I am so glad to have you on the show. I've been looking forward to this conversation because Aurea is also one of our featured authors in the January magazine that is coming out on the 1st of January. So we're super excited. I'm going to give everybody a little introduction so they can get to know you a little bit more. We had a great little chat for I think about 5 minutes before we went live as well. So guys, Aurea Franklin is a veteran of the 101st Airborne Division, and she is releasing her debut book, Silent Freedom. The book details her service of love, loss, and examines the life at war from a woman's perspective. The four-part memoir is one of strength, faith, and resilience. Silent Freedom details 3 instances of what she describes as miracles that defied the odds and allowed her to travel and arrive where she needed to be. Faith and hope are also pillars of Silent Freedom. Aurea's faith allowed her to deal with the difficulties of battle and survive combat with a sense of purpose. During her service, Aurea received 2 Bronze Star medals for meritorious service in a combat zone. She also holds 3 master's degrees and is a lifetime member of the Federal Asian Pacific American Council, previously serving as chairwoman of FAPAC's mentoring program and is currently serving as a committee advisor. Aurea, thank you so much for being here, for your service, and for your dedication, continuing dedication to so many people. And also, you told me that you currently, not only are you a veteran, but you're also working for the veterans at the VA currently. Is that correct?
That's correct. But I don't want to mention my work here.
Oh no, that's perfectly
Yeah.
fine. But it's like you have this spirit of service, like this
Yes.
continual spirit of service, and it's not only for just of war and combat, but just always lifting people up. So tell us a little bit about your time when you first joined, before the combat, before all that, when you first joined, of Aurea just first putting that uniform on, how that felt.
Oh, it felt so exciting for me because my father was a disciplinarian. So when I came to Honolulu, Hawaii, um, I was married at the time and he took me over here. And when he went back, he was from Honolulu, Hawaii, and he went back to work in Kwajalein Atoll Island. I believe you heard of that.
Mm.
Yes. And then when he left, and then I looked for a job and I landed in the Army recruiting station. I signed up, and actually, it's in my book also. It was in my basic training. I was left in the hands of my recruiters, and they taught me the how to do push-ups and sit-ups and my run. And I ended up getting a trophy from basic training because of their
Mm.
mentorship. And of course, my drill sergeant, or this drill sergeant McCroskey, I don't know
You
where he
still
is
remember
now.
the name?
Yes, I do. Amazing, isn't it? Yes.
Yeah.
And so on my first, my first duty station was in Fort Campbell, Kentucky.
Mm.
And I didn't know that I will be going back to Fort Campbell, Kentucky for my retirement. What happened is my husband was sick and he passed away,
Oh,
and it was in my book. And then life, we have to move on
yeah.
after this the tragedy. That's why I have that love and loss. And then I met this warrant officer in Fort Shafter, Hawaii, and we get married, and I had a son. And then we ended up getting divorced after 20 years of marriage.
Wow.
So that's another, and I was in the process of, getting divorced and leaving a young son behind. And this story is about uh, from a perspective of a woman and a mother's, you know, side,
Yeah.
mother's point of view. And when I was in Wisconsin, in one of my duty stations, Wisconsin, Fort McCoy, Wisconsin, as a regular army, we saw the twin tower, the 9/11.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was working downstairs, and my operations sergeant was upstairs, and he rushed them downstairs, and he told me, "Aurea, oh Franklin, they call us by last names.
Yeah.
Come on, let's look at this. Pentagon is on fire." And then when I went up, and then that was when the second airplane hit the second tower.
Oh
I said, "Oh
no.
my gosh!" And we saw people jumping from the building, and we saw a billowing dark smoke and fire. And I said, "Oh my gosh!" And we said, "What date it is?" September 11th. Oh, this is a day to remember. And then from Fort McKay, Wisconsin, I moved to Fort Campbell, Kentucky, the home of the 101st Airborne Division Air Assault, and I deployed with them to Iraq. And after the 9/11, 9/11 caused multiple deployments of units.
Yeah.
I saw the Air Force. Forgive me, but that's where I saw them in full battle rattle. Oh my God, they're also warriors.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean it really shocked a lot of us as well because I came in 1997, and when all that, I mean, that wasn't something that we did. We didn't go to a lot of places. So, and we didn't do a lot of the training like the army training was your primary MOS, right? Training for
Yes,
combat. Whereas for us, that wasn't something that was trained put into our brain. But when 9/11 happened, that changed our whole mindset. We were like, whoa, stuff just got real. Like we're in the real military. Yeah, it was a total different mindset change. So
yes.
wow.
And I was separated from my unit when we were in Iraq, right? They deployed to northern Iraq in a city called Mosul. All right, so I was left with 86 Combat Support Hospital. I had a very critical mission with them. It's a large combat hospital.
Hmm.
So I reported the casualties, unfortunately, from 101st Airborne Division units and those attached to them. And when their mission was completed, I called my commanding officer, and he told me two options. Either one, to redeploy with a combat support hospital, or two, to rejoin them in Mosul in northern Iraq. And he said, but it is impossible to join us here because of war. And so I confirmed that it's impossible. And he said it would take a miracle. And I told him it would take a miracle. So I was just echoing what he was telling me. And I talked to different units from Camp Udary in Iraq, and nobody would take me. All these units going to the north, and nobody took me. And that's how I found that it was difficult for a woman to be in combat. You know,
Yeah.
it was difficult to hitch a ride. I saw men, they easily took him. So during that time, it was difficult. So I ended up going back to my tent, so distressed, crying. So I kept it to myself. I kept my faith no matter what. I kept my faith and hope. And you know what, TJ? One day, I didn't know. God sent me St. Michael in disguise of a pilot, of an
Oh,
aviator. Yeah, he was in a camouflage uniform, the gray and white. And then he, he said, I am here to pick up a little patient. And so I look at my fellow soldiers. We look at each other intensely and said, we both know, and we look at our list, and there was no little patient nor any other patient that were supposed to be picked up that day. And so my silent freedom was screaming inside me. I said,
wow.
"What? But I'm willing to become your passenger." I said, and I do remember very well. He, took his helmet down, and then he took his sunglasses off, and he said, "You got it. Pack up, and I'll wait for you at the helipad in 20 minutes." I said, oh my God, I hugged my fellow soldier. I told him I'll be there. I hugged my fellow soldier, and we looked at each other and we said goodbye to each other. And she said that, I understand. You got to go. What you have to do, go. And so she manned the floor, and I ran back to my tent and shoved everything in my duffel bag. And
Yeah.
anything that my duffel bag can't contain, I used the trash bags. Oh my gosh. So I was afraid that I will not make it in 20 minutes and I will miss St. Michael. So I said, I need a gator. A gator is just like
Yeah.
the golf cart that takes you everywhere. So,
Yeah.
and then a soldier showed up with a gator. I said, oh my gosh, how good, all my miracles were happening at the same time, on the same day. And so he helped me with my things, and then he drove me to the helipad, and I saw St. Michael there. And
Mm.
after he put gas on his in his Black Hawk, then he said, "Okay, you ready? Let's go." Yes, sir. and so, um, and so I said goodbye to the soldier who helped me get to the helipad, and we told each other, "We'll see you on the other side." And we gave each other a thumbs up. And so St. Michael, piloted the Black Hawk, and we ran through a turbulence, of course, because it was sandstorms. So I told myself, with St. Michael in the cockpit, what should I be afraid of?
Yeah.
So I
Amen.
entrusted everything to him and to God. And then, so we landed in Baghdad. Baghdad is en route to Mosul. And my third miracle was, looking for someone to help me to get to my final destination. And the first soldier that I saw with the 101st Airborne Division Air Assault Combat Patch was this IT guy that from my unit. And so, oh my gosh, I really lost it, and I cried, and we hugged each other. We hugged each other. He was also separated from my unit because he had a critical mission in Baghdad. So he added me to the manifest or to the list, and he found a Chinook for me.
Oh, wow.
That will pick up an engine tank in Balad. This is like 30 minutes away from Mosul. So I said, anything that would get me to Mosul. So I did that, and I took the Chinook, and then finally, in short, I landed in Mosul. And my commander was very surprised. My commander and my first sergeant, they were very surprised to see me. They
Wow.
didn't know that I would make it. They said, "Oh my God." So my commander said, "It would take a miracle to get here." And so I told him, that's exactly what happened. We share the same faith. He was also Catholic, and said,
Yeah.
so he stepped back and said, "Oh my God," you know. And we hugged each other, and he told everybody, about it. And they're so proud that I made it alive.
Yeah.
So,
It,
oh my
it's
God.
astonishing that there wasn't anyone trying to get you there. You were in the middle of Iraq by yourself, trying to find your own way to your unit. I,
Yes, at that time it was very difficult. I believe the second, third, fourth deployments were easier.
wow. Yeah. That must have been right when everything started, when there wasn't the airlifts, there wasn't the logistics all worked out and everything.
Yeah,
So,
the ground convoy was the only means to get to Iraq.
wow. So St. Michael was sent to you.
It
Everything
was
was just I do believe in that. I do believe that things happen for a very specific reason. So, how many tours did you end up doing?
I had 4 tours.
Oh my gosh.
I almost became an Iraqi citizen. I'm just kidding.
I was like, oh my gosh, we need to have a whole season of talking to you. I mean, there's already so much going on, but I think thank God, thank God for what he brought into you, brought to you to get you back to your unit. So when you talk about, so Jamie Lane is here. You almost she said she thinks you're funny. I do
Yes, four
too.
tours, 1 year each.
Wow, 4 years total in country and in a combat unit. That's crazy. So when you came home and you already experienced the loss of one husband, and the divorce of another after 20 years, and now how many now you were transitioning your life. How was that? How was that transition for you?
It was tough at first. The first year, I can't live with my former husband. It was very difficult. I was homeless. Where would I go? I cannot live with him. So it was tough, but God was with me in Iraq, and He was with me when I came home.
Wow.
And everything turned okay. CJ, I love my life in Iraq. It may be, weird to hear it, but I felt so sick. I felt secured with the the troops around me.
Yeah.
We ran the perimeter with no problem. We cannot run in group because somebody might throw a grenade on us, and that will be a mass casualty, right?
Yeah.
But I love my Iraq. I enjoyed the camaraderie, my soldiers. How troops are. They
Yeah.
have they have great sense of humor, and I loved it.
Yes.
I loved it.
Absolutely.
And
And your book, Silent Freedom, is your story of your military career, correct?
it's a story of my service with the 101st Airborne Division, a resort in Iraq. It doesn't tell about all my story, but I mentioned something there when a grand wedding in the Philippines. So I gave you a short tour
Okay.
about the Philippines. I don't know if you've been there before.
I haven't. But every time I talk to somebody, I'm like, I was in Japan. That was the closest that I got. That was the only tour that I did in Asia. And then I went to Hawaii, but that was about it as well.
Jamie's
Or so with
funny.
you. We have a huge, a really great veteran community that we work with and talk with, an author community as well. So you're in a you're in a great place here,
Oh, no,
Aurea.
yeah, that's great. And
Yeah.
you know, most people here, fortunately, like veterans, so we're lucky.
Yeah. So what made you want to write the book? What was your motivation and inspiration to write the book?
It was difficult to write that book, but my inspiration was my fellow veterans, you, the young men and women who transform into to strong, brave men and women and continue to serve this country. And also, I had to release the pain in my heart. I lost friends in Iraq, and I was too difficult. I had to release it. I had to write the book. And so now, it's not too bad when I get really sad. I have to uh, look at my book and I say, there you are. And actually, I have a story there where my good friend, I was an adjutant general, support, right, admin, and he was killed in his fourth tour there. And that was so sad because I came home and then I didn't know that it was him on the airplane at the same time when I
Wow.
and then I found out that it was him, that he died when I went back to Iraq, and that was so difficult. But one day when I went back to Fort Campbell and visited, I saw a lane, a street named after him.
Oh,
So that was a relief. I said, okay, we will remember you forever, and as if I saw him, his face in heaven, smiling at me because he was also a pastor.
yeah.
Yeah, it was difficult. But yeah, all my friends, or my fellow veterans inspired me. And my son, of course,
Yeah.
at a very young age, he had to watch TV every morning before he went to school just to catch a glimpse of me. And it
Oh,
touched the core of my of my being a mother.
yeah.
It was really difficult.
Yeah. Did you ever think that you would write a book? Was it something you aspired to do, or was it just something that you knew you needed to get the words out?
CJ, for some reason I had this feeling, but I cannot explain it. There's something like, and I didn't have many pictures of me in Iraq, because especially during the first year, but something was telling me something is going to happen, but
Mm,
this must be it.
yeah. Yeah. Mm. I think that veterans need to write those books. A lot of them are a very wonderful healing journey. Whether they publish them or not, that's up to them. But it's also a testament to the things that they experience over there, and it shows the next generation how to become resilient, how to get through those times, because there's so many emotions and feelings that veterans go through over there. Once we come home, once you transition, there's so much going on. So I think that every veteran should write down what they went through.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, I know. They should. And I will recommend you. They should be in this podcast.
Yeah. So what are you up to now? What's life like for Aria now without the combat boots? Or maybe you still wear them. Some people still wear them, and that's okay. I can't fit in mine. My
I love
ankles
my
are too
combat
big
boots.
now.
Yes, I love my combat boots. And yes, thank you for asking, CJ. I am writing novels,
Awesome.
and I have one is coming up, and I'm hoping that I will see you again.
Well, I would love to see you again and talk all anytime you want to talk. So Silent Freedom is the one that you have now. Is it out already?
Yes, it's out already, September 2021. It's available on Amazon.com, Barnes and Nobles, Lulu.com was the one who printed my books. It's in Kobo. It's
Oh, nice.
everywhere. Just if you please type Aurea Franklin Silent Freedom, in Google, and it will show. It will lead you to my book. And Google also have my book.
Okay. And what else are you working up over there in that beautiful mind of yours?
What else is working? Oh, thank you for that. Oh my gosh, I just would like to. I would like to write a comedy book someday.
Oh,
I
you
would like
know,
to make people happy.
you have that personality. I think that you totally, there's something about your smile and the way that you answer things. And I bet you have that personality, that quick wit that is going to just kill it in a comedy book. Like I could tell. Like,
I needed that vote of confidence.
yes,
Thank you.
I totally think that you're going to write that one and it's going to be great.
That's great. Thank
I'm,
you. Thank
I'm
you for the
ready to see that
encouragement.
one. Yeah. So, if you had any advice for somebody that wanted to write a book but doesn't have the confidence or doesn't know where to start, what would your advice be to them?
Call me.
There you go.
Call me. And make sure, I had a challenge with my pictures, right? They were not high resolution. So we have to take a picture of it with our, we have modern cameras now. And that
Mhm,
was
yeah,
very challenging. But we got it done. And most of my pictures, you can find them in the last pages of Silent Freedom.
awesome. Yeah, those are to be cherished. You look back and you're like, I often post pictures from my memories on Facebook, and I'm like, who is that girl? That's a whole different
Oh,
person.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like it. But then I put on there at the end, I'm like, she's still in there. So watch out because
Yes.
I'm still her.
Uh,
So
yep.
where can people reach you at if they do want to call you?
Okay. Do you want to call me? Do you want me
Well,
to
I mean,
give
not your
you
phone number. Don't put that out there. You don't want a bunch of people calling you. That's a little
right?
scary. But
But
like a website or
yeah, go to silentfreedom101st.com. 101st is 101st.com. Silentfreedom101st.com.
awesome.
Silentfreedom101st.com.
So you guys head over there, and if you're looking to write a book, contact Aurea because she's ready for you. Because her next book is going to be comedy, and I'm already going to be laughing. I'm
Uh,
looking forward to it. So here's the part of the podcast where I hand it over to you, and any last words, something that we didn't get to talk about that you want to talk about, things that you want to shout out to anybody, stuff that you want to make sure that your voice is being heard on. That this is your floor for you to take it away.
yes, it's a very important one for me, and it's how I survived the battle and the battleground. Okay, faith can inspire hope, and faith and hope can make a big difference. We hope that we'll have a better future.
Mm, such beautiful words. Thank you so much for saying that, for being here, for holding a space for so many other female veterans who do not think that they have words that matter or think that they can speak about their time in the military because I was one of those female veterans at one point. There were so many things that I couldn't speak about, or I felt like I couldn't get anything done, or I couldn't go across a country that didn't want me there. So I understand that. And as long as we keep speaking up and we keep putting our words out there, there's so many people that are going to realize that their voice matters. So thank you for putting your book out there, for writing those beautiful words on those pages, and for being here with us tonight. We appreciate you, Aria.
Thanks for having me, CJ. It's really a big honor for me to be here tonight. Thank
And
you.
when you write the next one, make sure you come back because we definitely want you to come back. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you so much, CJ.
Awesome, guys. Don't forget to come back each week and watch us either live or the podcast right here on Facebook. You can also ask Siri or Alexa to play our latest episode. Head to our website, catch the latest issue of the magazine or the blog post. We want to continue making authors' dreams come true and provide them a platform to shine. We will see you guys next time. And if you appreciate conversations like we do and want to become a better speaker, visit our friends Brendan and Vamsi of Master Talk, where they teach you how to use the power of your voice. Don't forget, stay awake with a nice cup of coffee from Third Day Coffee Seguin, the best cup of coffee on this side of heaven. Until next time, my friends, I'm CJ. That is Aurea. Go read her book and write on. We'll see you guys later. Bye, Aurea. Bye.
Bye, CJ. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
The Author's Porch is a certified veteran hosted podcast. Show your support. Tune in, share, and subscribe.